What disappoints Indians is that after 11 years of effort, Modi has failed to lead India to become the world's factory. On the contrary, India's position as the world's office is also under threat due to the rapid development of AI. Meanwhile, countries that Indians look down upon, such as Vietnam, Indonesia, Mexico, and Brazil, are rising rapidly. Take Indonesia, a populous nation, as an example. Its education level is far higher than India's, it has a unified official language, and its infrastructure is more developed. Moreover, its per capita GDP is about twice that of India, giving it a much stronger development foundation. Mexico and Vietnam, each with populations exceeding 100 million, also have better labor quality than India, along with a unified national identity and official language. Brazil is no exception either. As the largest Portuguese-speaking country in the world, its vast territory and advantageous geographical location give it far greater development potential than India. Many netizens have proposed that Indonesia should replace India as the eye in BRICS. This is a highly meaningful proposal. If India continues to adopt a passive attitude within BRICS and other southern organizations, countries such as China, Russia, Brazil, and South Africa may seriously consider replacing India with Indonesia. This is no joke. Most countries prefer to deal with a strong and contract-respecting government. The Indian government has a notorious international reputation, while Indonesia, though slightly smaller in national scale, is clearly easier to engage with. Indonesia is also one of the main initiators of Global South activities. The Bandung Conference is considered the most important international meeting in the history of the Global South, with far-reaching influence to this day. So, let's return to the starting point of the question. Why has India, which has aspired to lead the Global South since the Nehru era, fallen into such an isolated position today without a single true friend? Why has India consistently failed to form a strong central government and establish consistent long-term national policies? This actually requires a discussion of India's history. India is not a concept that has always existed. Modern India is a patchwork stitched together by British colonizers for the convenience of rule. It has never truly been unified in history. The last empire to unify northern India was the Mughal Empire, an Islamic regime. The vast regions where Hinduism prevailed were long conquered by various foreign civilizations and never truly independent. During World War II, China and other Asian countries experienced intense anti-fascist wars and subsequent national independence movements. Countries like China and Vietnam even endured brutal wars to achieve national independence and unification. Taking China's War of Resistance against Japan as an example, it lasted 14 years, with widespread participation from ethnic groups such as the Han, Manchu, Hui, and Mongols. Dozens of provinces across the country made tremendous sacrifices, fostering a strong national identity. In 1950, the People's Republic of China sent troops to Korea, directly confronting the United States, the world's strongest power, which greatly enhanced China's national cohesion. As a country where the Han ethnic group accounts for over 90% of the population, Mandarin Chinese was designated as the official language and vigorously promoted nationwide. After generations of learning, not only the Han but also ethnic minorities in China can proficiently use Mandarin as their primary working language. China has experienced multiple unified dynasties in its history, so various ethnic minorities have played important roles in China's historical process, with dozens of ethnic groups forming a unified history. Take Tibet as an example. Its Tibetan Buddhism has influenced not only Tibet, but also Qinghai, Sichuan, Yunnan, and even Mongolia. The intermarriage between Mongolian nobles and the Manchu made them the core ruling class of China. The Qing government deeply intervened in the reincarnation system of Tibetan Buddhism through the Golden Urn system, integrating Tibetan local history into China's national history. Another example is Xinjiang, where the central government established various administrative institutions for direct rule as early as the Han Dynasty. Li Bai, one of China's greatest poets, was born in what is now Kazakhstan, demonstrating that the influence of the Tang dynasty had already reached distant Central Asia. In contrast, under the leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the core agenda of modern India is to promote Hinduism and Hindi as the core culture of India. However, this culture lacks nationwide acceptance. For instance, Punjabis may prefer to promote Sikh culture, while states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala in the south may consider their own cultures more advanced. At the very least, these regions have higher living standards and cleaner environments, completely different from the dirty and backward states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar in northern India. Whenever videos of India's dirty and backward conditions appear on YouTube, India as a whole bears immense shame. But this greatly dissatisfies residents of southern India, as they do not live in such hellish conditions. When a country cannot provide honor to its constituent ethnic groups, but instead brings constant shame, the centrifugal force within the country will gradually outweigh the centripetal force, making fragmentation inevitable. In Indian history, regions dominated by Hinduism and Hindi have never truly become the core leadership of the nation. After India's independence, due to the sudden withdrawal of British colonizers, Hindu elites seized the core power of the state, occupying advantageous positions within the federation. Due to their large population, Hindi and Hinduism gained privileges over other languages and religions. However, this privileged status was not due to the inherent strength of the language or religion, but rather a result of historical circumstances. During the rule of the Indian National Congress, although India faced issues such as weak central governance and severe corruption, the country maintained political unity and national identity was gradually strengthening. However, under the leadership of Modi and the BJP, Hindu radicalism has surged, and nationwide efforts to promote Hinduism and Hindi have faced widespread resistance, plunging India into severe division. This division, accompanied by continuous religious conflicts, has become increasingly hate-driven. Currently, regions such as Tamil Nadu in the south, where Dravidian culture prevails, and Assam, Nagaland, and Manipur in the northeast, as well as Punjab, where Sikhism thrives, and Kashmir, dominated by Islam, could potentially split and confront the Hindu-dominated central government. Wealthy regions like Maharashtra might also seek independence if the country falls into disarray. For India to maintain unity, the central government would need to pay a high cost. Meanwhile, hundreds of millions of Indian Muslims, facing oppression from Hindus, could at any time brew large-scale rebellions. As a religion with inherent military attributes, if Muslims resort to armed struggle for independence or autonomy, it would be a devastating blow to the Indian government. Of course, Modi and the BJP are not entirely without opportunities. If the Indian central government and its core regions can form a strong economy under the promotion of a unified language and culture and secure a favorable position in the global division of labor, then relying on strong state power, Hinduism and Hindi could potentially unify the nation. The problem, however, is that Hindi and Hindu-dominated regions have never truly been powerful throughout history. Now, the BJP is stuck in an embarrassing cycle of fabrication, boasting, and constant humiliation. Under the BJP's leadership, India not only has tense relations with all its neighbors, but has also missed almost every major technological revolution, becoming an economic island in the world. India is the only country in the world that is on unfriendly terms with Russia, China, and the United States. If it could surpass Europe to become the world's fourth pole, it might still have a chance. However, the reality is that it cannot even compete with ASEAN, let alone EU. Perhaps in the 21st century, fans of the Bharat Empire will not witness the so-called Great Revival, but instead face a fragmented and independent India. Or perhaps, only when this troublemaker disintegrates can South Asia truly achieve prosperity.